computer. Okay, hello ladies, welcome to this meeting today with our, as I said, star participant, Kinga, Rycko. Kinga is a long-standing, very good friend of mine and a colleague. And I invited her today to this meeting because I would like you to get someone else's perspective, not just mine, on what we have discussed lately. And we discussed the value-driven goals last time when we met. We were talking about the importance of value-driven goals. So today, what I would like Kinga to do is to get us her own perspective on value-driven goals and share with us how she manages to stay aligned with her values and at the same time achieving her goals. It's the second webinar of this title, Achieving More in 2025, and related to goals. There will be a third one as well before we turn into a different topic. So off we go. The agenda is the welcome and introduction, which we have done, or we will, because we'll also properly introduce Kinga. We will recap the last week's webinar, just very, very briefly. And then Kinga will have her, I'm sure, more than 30 minutes. And then I would like to open the floor for your questions and the key takeaways. So please, I'm just warming you up already to this last item on our agenda. Okay, so that's me. I think most of you on this call know me already. I'm a career coach or corporate executive turned career coach. And I'm especially working with women high achievers in the corporate world to help them take the next step in their career. This is my passion, and this is what the reason why I'm doing those webinars as well. They are very much educational, and that's a part of my mission. Here is my long-standing friend and colleague, a very accomplished individual, a woman, a mother, and an executive. She will tell more about herself. I just want to let you know that she's a versatile global business leader. Kinga, speaks many languages, has lived in many countries, and has accomplished a lot during her career. Kinga, I will give you the floor now because I think you will tell us best about yourself. You are the first person I'm inviting to the series. I will be inviting more people, but you are a special person in my heart and in my life, and a very accomplished one. So hence you are the first one in opening the entire series of interviews. Off you go, Kinga.
Thank you so much, Isabella, and everybody. Hello. Really nice to be here, and thank you so much. I feel really humbled. I feel so honored to be invited for your first webinar to be your first guest. I don't know if I'm so accomplished. However, I just want to think of me like that. So yes, I work currently at UBS. I'm an executive director. I had so many roles. I'm not only a professional because I am a mom of two, of course. This is an important thing in my life. However, my career has always been very, very important for me. And I had so many roles, which were so really nice and great and in various countries. And for me, life has always been super interesting in terms of course, being a personal life and also professional life. So when I'm passionate about everything, if I could do have many lives in an existence, I would do this. So I think it's fine for the time being in terms of presentation. You're gonna get to know me perhaps better during the questions.
And you will tell us more about you being Polish, but really French, but really living in Switzerland and then living elsewhere as well, and traveling the globe and so on. That you will tell us more about it.
It's an identity, absolutely. Yes, that's true. I'm Polish and French. Yes, yeah.
Polish and French, living in Switzerland. And
a little story is just my blood is Polish, 100%. My brain is fully French, totally French when I think. It's my first language because I lived in France for a long time. And my body is in Switzerland. And actually, perhaps my aspirations are to be all around the world. So yeah,
And you
just
speak Italian and English as well. So
so
yeah,
true.
speaking about people who are humbled, you know.
But let's
Okay.
let's be humble. Let's just focus on our
Let's
topic.
start with being humble. Thank you so much, Kinga, and I'm sure we will get to know more about you when we go through those questions. Yeah, webinar recap, just very briefly, for those of you, because I know there are a couple of you who had not been there lately. We spoke about goals, but not goals as such. We were looking at goals from the values perspective, as some of you rightly noticed and mentioned, like Eva and Naria, others. It's hard to achieve a goal which is not aligned with our values. And this is why it's important before we even set up any goals to think about our values. If we don't, and many times we don't, because we don't have time, because we don't think about it that way, we are setting up goals which are impossible for us to achieve, because deep inside they are not aligned with what we truly believe in and what we truly want to achieve in our lives. So hence the value-driven goals, and therefore value-driven habits. Again, as some of you mentioned last time, habits are as important as goals. And this is all for increased motivation and fulfillment, of course. Now, it's good to have goals, big, audacious goals, but how to achieve them, it's a different story. And we were talking about practical roadmaps and how to break those big, audacious goals into smaller steps so we are not overwhelmed with them, and so that we can achieve them step by step and celebrate this step-by-step achievement. We were talking about overcoming challenges as well, because we will always have challenges. And as accomplished as we may all be, each and every one of us had a lot of challenges on the way. And the challenges will always be there. So it's to plan what we know can happen and be prepared for we don't know will happen. So the techniques of overcoming challenges, we were discussing this as well. What are the common obstacles for women, especially? Because we know there are different challenges in women in the organizations. So this is what we discussed briefly. The questions that I prepared for Kinga are very much addressing those 3 points, and they go in a particular structure. So let me now go quickly to the Q&A session so I don't take up much time that Kinga has with us. I will ask Kinga 2 questions about values and goals setting. I will also ask her a question about roadmap and strategy, those practicalities, about challenges and resilience and the challenges that she was facing or has been facing on her way and how she deals with them. And I will also ask her about looking ahead and how she sees value driven goals playing a role in, especially in women, corporate women's life, and how to prepare for it. Okay? Okay. If there are no questions at this point, Kinga, first question that I would like to ask you is, this is an important question for me because the whole webinar highlighted this power of aligning goals with personal values. And it's good to say, oh yeah, align this with personal values, but how we can do it? And can you share an example of a time when a value-driven goal impacted your career? So first of all, do you approach it that way in your life? Was it easy for you to approach it that way? And do you have any example for us to share how this impacted your career in the past?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. And if you allow me to first say how I see my values and how I have been really trying to build my career, and this, in that sense, I really love the way you have you're calling your business just career by design, and this is exactly how I was seeing things from the start. Even if I was a very, very young person, I said, okay, I'm going to design it. I had really this approach of I'm going to design. I'm going to have like power on my own life. Perhaps I was thinking I was a little bit naive, but eventually, with time, I see that this really been extremely positive. And one of the core values I have, it has been just this drive towards business and my career. This was something which started very at a very young age. It was revenge on life, probably because of my difficult childhood and a lot of things that I lived during my life. So I just really wanted to have a good career, to be recognized as an individual in my career, also earn money and be respected, be recognized. So really driven by career, and progressively, because I think that values evolve with time and with history, personal life became also very, very important. So family and my kids. And after some time, I just said, okay, so the values, professional ones and the family ones, for me were intrinsically intertwined. So for me, professional life and personal life are all a kind of ecosystem. It's something which brings me to life, both of them. And I didn't want to make any concessions about my career and my personal life. So this is one of the most important values for me. Okay, these two goals, these two values are intrinsically intertwined. So now, when you look at this core value for me, now I'm coming back to the example you asked me about, is about a role that I held in Poland, and I really wanted to come back to Poland. As I said earlier, I left Poland when I was a young kid, and I lived in France. I lost totally contact with Poland, and I really wanted to come back. I really wanted to reconnect with my roots and my history, my background. And I had my two kids with me. I said, okay, they don't know anything about it because I lost totally connection with my country for various reasons. And at the same time, I did not have any contact with my father. So I said, okay, I have to reconnect with my father as well. And I said, how I can just make that happen together with my career, because at that time I had a really good career. I had a global role in strategy. I was managing various programs. And I said, how I could do that. And I just said, okay, I have to build a role for me in Poland. I knew that at that time we were trying to open a new service center in Warsaw. And I said, okay, I have to think about something. So I built a business case, and I went to my boss in London and I said, okay, good. I have something for you. I have a project. I would like to bring some value in the business world for you. I would like to set up a team there. I would like to be your your person of confidence and driving the teams, hiring new people in Poland. Please send me there as an expat. So, and this brought my values and what I loved about the professional life, and also giving the return on investment for my company, and at the same time also fulfilling my dream of being back to Poland.
Can we
Sorry.
ask everybody to mute themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, so this experience was this is exactly the example. So really driving, just giving to the company something, giving some value to the company, adhering towards their own values and to bring money, to bring efficiency, but at the same time living my life.
That's a beautiful example, and I suppose an important thing here to say is that of course your then boss said fantastic, a very good idea. He found it to be a very good idea because what you did, you based this business case on an opportunity that you identified, which was aligned with the strategy of the company.
Exactly, but the role was not existent, so which means that I created it.
Yeah.
Of course, there was a risk here to talk to my boss and say, listen, I just suggest that. But so I had to think about it in a very thorough way, just so that he buys it. And I said, okay, I have to try. I have to design it because I want it. If he had said no, of course, I would have found probably something different. But it worked very well. In 15 minutes, it was done. He was so amazed that he said, okay, that's good. And sometimes we have also to be very bold. That's why we have to design it. So that's why I love, again, I'm repeating myself. Career by design is exactly that. Just being bold. If it works, it's great. If it doesn't work, okay, we're gonna find another solution.
Do you think you were risking anything by approaching him?
Oh,
No, but you weren't risking anything. So that was in the way, it wasn't easy at all, but you knew that if he said no, you will stay in your previous role. And because you wanted to go elsewhere, you would just you would not be, of course, like and seen in a different light by him. You were just approaching with an opportunity, and if he didn't like it, then you would stay in your role for some point, for some time, right? And then you will
exactly.
find something else. Yeah.
Exactly. But you know, longer term, and perhaps we're gonna touch base on that, how you see yourself in the future, what is your bigger goal? So
Yeah, and
that's
that's
why
a
you
career by
could move.
design that
Yes,
you are
exactly.
alluding to.
Traveling, having experiences in other countries. So it's really everything comes together.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Thank you so much. And yeah, another one which is close to this, because yeah, sometimes what we think we value and what we actually do value can be different. And it's also because we have societal expectations, cultural expectations as well. And there may be conflict between what we are supposed to value and between what we really value. So how do you think women can get clarity on their true values, and especially in this demanding corporate environment?
So it's a difficult thing to achieve, definitely, because it's we have sometimes mixed feelings, and sometimes we don't have the time also to sit down, just to step back and to think about the values, what is real, what we perceive, what we think we like, because we are very much influenced by the world outside. And we feel that because we feel this pressure, we think, yes, yes, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I like. So it's very difficult. However, I would say that you have to all the time try and find every week, every day, some time to be extremely sensitive to who you are, to really look into yourself. So having a list, so I always did a list of, okay, things that I think I like, and then also seeing if I spend a lot of time on these things. Okay, so a list of my values, true or not true. And then I was confronting it with my actions. Do I really do that? If I like, for example, getting out with my kids, or if I like traveling, do I really push myself to achieve that? And then I could see the gaps. So, and definitely this misalignment is essential to be characterized. When you see that there are some contradictions, you need to analyze. So it's really self-analysis. So knowing yourself much better. And at the beginning of my life, it was very difficult because I was young, I was naive, I was also very pushy and very aggressive in terms of the way I was positioning myself. And and yeah, I made some mistakes, and also mistakes helped me to really say, okay, this is my real value. This is things that people just force me to do. For example, the society also forces you as a woman to to have kids, for example. Yeah, to we're also even unconsciously influenced by the media, by what men think of us, by what the bosses think of us, women also, how they see ourselves in the roles. When I was very aggressive, I was actually just trying to mimic some men. They were just doing the same. I said, okay, this is my role model. I like him. And some women said, but you are too aggressive. But I said, yeah, but this guy is very aggressive. Yes, but it's not the same. So we are also influenced, and we try to adjust to this world. And at some point in time, we don't feel fulfilled. There is a problem. We say, okay, it doesn't work. So it's a journey. Okay, it's not easy. It's a journey, but be a consistent and be a little bit selfish sometimes. Stop and think about what you really like, what you love, what's your true yourself, and analyze what's more pressure, and also in conscious influence. I don't know if I really replied clearly to that, but I want to say that it's one of the most difficult things for me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I love the way you said it as do mind your actions, look at your actions and see if the actions are aligned with what you say or think that you value. I think this is critically important. Yesterday, I had a meeting with my own coach, and what he showed me was really something so simple that I was completely baffled why I never thought about this. He said for him to always remember what his values are, he has a simple, page just printed from printed. He designed it himself, and he put it there, my values, and then family. And under family, he said he put a couple of lines: relationship with my wife, relationship with my children, and then he said this child, this child, this child, then friends. Then this is family. This is family and friends. Then the next category was personal development and a couple of things. And so whatever are the values for him, he broke them down into specifics, like in relationship with the relationship with his wife and kids, and he put actionable steps against each and one of them. Spend 1 hour daily with every one of my kids, and then he has those boxes which he ticks every day. So he has this list for himself every week, the same, and then every night he's ticking the boxes if he has done what he says he would, or what he thinks he believes in. And I think it's really a very, very simple exercise, because if you find yourself not doing something which you put on this page, then maybe it's not your value at the end of the day.
And I would say that at the beginning, it's good to have this in writing. It's good to sit down, because if you think it's a mass of things that you have on your head, and you have to write it down to make it really consistent, clear. Everything that you write becomes more tangible.
Yeah.
Of course, everyday life, just, lots of coaches or even book writers will say, yes, you have to be structured, you have to good. And very often I see that men do that because they have time, okay? And
they have more time.
Men don't have always the time to do that. So yes, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. Okay, 5 a.m. club, guys. Yeah. So there was one coach, I listened to his podcast, and he said, yes, I want to be the best man, the best husband in the world. I'm going to help with the dinner. Okay, but who goes to go the groceries, when the child is sick, etc. So just giving our lessons like that, very easy. So that's why I say, yes, step back, try whenever you have time, as Isabella said, write down. This is important, even if it's messy, you don't care. And then you come back to it it becomes a habit, even if it's not every day or every week, not like this coach, but try to do it, however, whenever you can. And at some point in time, it's going to become something like a second nature. I did it. It was difficult. It was messy. I was, but it worked, honestly. It works.
Thank you. And I love the way you said this societal expectations, like many women who don't have children, for example, are, treated differently or looked upon, differently by others, because there is this expectation, like even in the company, when companies are hiring women, I know it's illegal anymore, but there used to be times when women were asked, like, yeah, you are applying for this role, but do you have family, do you have kids, and so on. So this may make it difficult for women, and may put them in a conflict, because maybe they don't want a family like that. So it's okay. It's the most important thing is to be aligned with your own values, rather than whatever someone else expects. And I also love the way you said, you gave this example of you going to your line with a role that you designed for yourself.
Yes.
This is something that I have never done in my career, and because the roles were coming to me. But I do believe this is the best way, and I regret that I didn't think about it sooner. But this is the best way of designing your career. What it takes is boldness, as Kinga said, taking a risk at times. But the best way, perhaps, to avoid this, looking at this as being really bold and risky, is to align it with the strategy of the company, and to design a role so that it's really, really beneficial for the company, and at the same time beneficial for you. So thank you for this example.
Exactly.
I know it worked beautifully for you. Okay, let's move on to the next category unless someone has a specific question here.
I have a question here. This is Nicolette or
Nikki.
Nikki.
Oh,
Nice
yes.
to meet you, Kinga. I am very curious about the being aggressive part and being pushy. Because I really get what you did and what you mean by that, but I would be curious how you changed that and what was the result of changing that behavior.
Yes. So I'm a very energetic person. So still, but I was so much more when I, 25 years ago. And yes, I was aggressive because for me it was being dynamic. It was being getting things done. And I was also looking at men because there were not so many people in this field. So I was doing corporate services, so engineering, managing the buildings, the services. So many men, and I was working for a law firm, and many men as well, and managing partners. So yeah, for me, it was normal. When we were looking for role models, it was much more this male. And you've heard probably what Mr. The boss of Meta said, yeah, so masculine strength. So yes, I was just mimicking it, and yes, it was not welcomed. And I must say that I had a coach at that time, so I have asked for help to my boss, who was a really very kind one. And I said, listen, you have to help me because I just need to make sure that I can navigate the organization in a very clever way. So I had, for 1 year time, I had a coach. They paid a coaching for me. It was very interesting. So each week I was seeing, for 1 year, I was seeing a coach and trying to solve these not issues, but these patterns and this too much energy that I had. And progressively, just you put it into more an assertive way. You take this energy to put it somewhere else, to put it in the nice relationships, in somewhere else, in the sports, etc. So I really, and I also got some feedback from people. I very deliberately went to people I liked, and I said, okay, how do you see me? And then I decided to build my brand. I said, okay, how I would like to give the perceptions, how I would like people to perceive me. Okay, so how to project this image, this brand. And I said, okay, if I want to do that, I just need to adjust in this way. So then again, you have to think about it. You have to stop and to go for a walk and to think about it very deliberately. Of course, the coach helped me. The mentors or people who I trusted helped me. And you reverse the trend. You become assertive. You have energy for something else. Have I replied to your question, Nikki?
Yes, I think very
But
much.
it was not sufficient once, yeah? I had to do it reiterations, okay? So
Yeah,
it's not
and
like
also I think it's a good point that it took time as well.
yes, it took
I
time.
think
Because
so.
afterwards, so if we talk about setbacks and problems in my career, when I joined Credit Suisse, after 1 year, they nearly wanted to fire me. Because I was, again, I thought I had made so many improvements in my way of doing things, and actually I was not political enough because I was much more French, and this was a French way of doing things. So I had to adapt myself to a more international setup, more British one. So again, and after 1 year of really super good performance, my boss said, "Listen, if you continue, you're going to be out." So again, I had to think about this. What did I do? And this is a self-reflection. And eventually, with time, it became a second nature. I wanted to be nice. I wanted that people like me for my professionalism, for my kindness, my fairness, my values. So I transformed it into this way. Not sure that this is 100%, but I'm
Kinga,
trying.
can you, I hate to interrupt you, but can you define aggressiveness? Because because you said you were mimicking the men, and then you put in the equation here the assertiveness, which is again beautiful because there are two different, similar but different angles. Can you define aggressiveness versus assertiveness?
Yeah, so aggressiveness was much more pushing a lot, okay? Not listening to people, pushing for my objectives, also pushing for a quick decision making. So this rapidity. pushing for also quick answers, people who just are also very quick at delivering. I was extremely demanding with myself and with others. So I was not giving space to people because yes, I said, am I in a very competitive world? I have to push. And in terms of also the way I was speaking, I was not adapting my tone to people. People are different. Now I've understood it. And if I speak with somebody who is much more introvert, I'm trying to adjust to this person to get more fluid between us, more interactions. If I am in front of a person who is much more dynamic, yes, I'm going to put my voice of lion, but otherwise I try to do it differently. So, but being aggressive, it's being just all the time this warrior. Even if I was not shouting or whatever, but I had a very energetic way of doing things, and this was tiring for some people. So assertiveness is just being calm. Yeah, I was pushing a lot, and once a director, my boss said, "Kinga, please, a director is calm. It's just like a lion who is thinking about the prey it's going to attack. So be like that, but at the same time, you have the power inside of you. And projecting yourself in a kind of animal or imagining yourself in that role just makes you feel it, I think.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nikki, do you have your
And the example, the lion example.
Great, thank you. Now, yes, so we spoke about values and goals. Now, let's talk about roadmap and strategy. And Kinga did allude to strategy already. But I would like you, Kinga, if you don't mind, to look at it at the way of practicalities now. And give us one piece of advice for breaking down those big, audacious, aspirational goals into manageable, actionable steps. Again, from your beautiful career.
So when I was young, I always wanted to achieve something meaningful for me. Okay, not meaningful from the perspective of the society, but for me, of course, it was linked to recognition from a professional standpoint. But so always since the childhood, I said, I'm gonna be successful. I want to be successful, whatever it takes. And in terms of one thing that I really made it happen because I'm projecting myself in the future all the time. So when I was younger, I said, okay, when I am 30, I'm going to have a managerial role. I want to manage people. I want to earn some money. I want to have a house, or I don't remember exactly, but I knew that I wanted to be successful and so I was projecting myself into the future, always thinking 10, 15 years ahead. And once I have this goal, I go back, I rewind. I say, okay, so what do I need? What's the gap I need to fill out just to make sure that I achieve what I want to be in the future? And this provides me with some steps. I say, okay, if I want to be whatever, I want to be a coach, I just need to learn. I need to get a training. If I want to be a COO, what's the role of COO? Is understand governance, understand financials, understand so many things. So, and I feel the gaps like that, but always projecting myself. So now, for example, if you take my career, now I'm projecting myself towards the time when I'm going to be retired. And I still have so many years in front of me. But how I want to be seen in the future. I want to be a mom or grandmother. I want to be comfortable. I want perhaps to live in a specific country. And to build that, I just need afterwards to break this into smaller pieces to get to this experience. So, but it's not only material, of course, it's also spiritual. It's also something from a knowledge perspective, intelligence. I want to learn. I want to have experiences. So again, don't forget that I want to have a professional career and also be a mom with my kids. This is something which was extremely important to me. And I'm not going to make some concessions for my kids or for my job. So project yourself feel it, do some body analysis, body scanning, how you want to feel when you are 60, 65, where you want to be, what you
Thank you.
want to know, what kind of experiences you want to live.
And then go, as you said, go backwards to between where you are now, where you want to be, and what you need to do in those smaller steps to get where you want to go. Because as you said, and I get it absolutely, if you just dream of being this person when you retire and you don't do anything to get there in the smallest steps, as you say, because you still have a lot of years ahead of you, but you are starting now, because the sooner you start, the smaller steps will be enough, right?
Exactly. And I'm going to do the right steps. And this is by design. Again, this is what you say. It's designing it now that I know approximately what I want. Of course, things are going to change, okay? You have to be ready to have your values changing. Perhaps I'm going to have experienced something which is going to be tremendously difficult in my life. I had many before, but perhaps the trend is going to change. But I'm ready to that. You have to be also adaptable. But having your goal is essential. And then building it step by step, but you know where you want to go. If you don't want to, yes, you're going to, as you said, I think last week, Isabella, you said that somebody else is going to design it for you. Just like my boss, perhaps, when I was talking about Poland, he was perhaps designing another role for me. No, I decided to design it for myself, trying at least.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, I think you alluded to it already with the previous question that Nikki was asking about this assertiveness versus aggressiveness, how crucial mentorship, sponsorship, and coaching and achieving value-driven goals is, and what advice would you give for women seeking these support systems? And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because many of us think, you probably did, I did as well for many, many years, we think that we can do it alone. Because especially if we are accomplished, we think that, yes, we are good enough to do it alone. But the thing is that oftentimes it's not possible. And if we don't ask for help, we may regret it earlier. But if you can allude to this based on your experience, Kinga, that would be great.
Yeah, so of course, mentorship, sponsorship, coaching, these are different concepts. I think each of them is very important. So mentorship, yes, you can find mentors pretty easily, and you can have many mentors. Sponsorship is essential, of course, to progress your career. You have to have sponsor around you. You have to have a good environment around you to get that, and have your network. So always never underestimate your network, because your sponsor can be in your network. And in terms of coaching, yes, definitely, I found it extremely useful for me when I was younger, because I had this coaching when I was 28 year old. When I was 28 year old, yes. And I had a friend of mine who was an IT guy. He's still my friend. So he was talking about like a life coach, and sometimes he was weird. I found it here weird. He said, I have a life coach. Because I need to drive my life. I felt okay. I was just thinking he's crazy. And then a few months after, he said, yes, now I have a professional coach because I need to change something in my life. So and it was something pretty new at that time. And I must say that his life has been pretty interesting. And I think that he changed a lot. And that's why also I decided to agree to a coaching. And yes, it really can help. And now I just trying also to have friends, or to have, I had a coach as well in a few months ago, because it helps you to step back. Because if you don't have this, if you're struggling on your own, and I was struggling, this person who is much more professional helps you to step back, to analyze, to be much more demanding with yourself and critical. In a positive way, okay? But critical in a positive way, and perhaps open up new ideas. And then you can reflect much more deeply on what you want to achieve. So yes, I like the three concepts. I think all of them are very important. And you said also about the accountability person, I think, or
Yeah, accountability partner, yes.
yes, it's yeah, if you trust people, just get there and ask for help. I think and you can in the future you can also help others, because it's also learning a lot about yourself and about others. So it's a dual learning path.
And giving back, as you said,
And
that's a well, thank you. And I like the way you said those three roles are very different, and all of them may be important at different stages of your life. Sponsorship is absolutely crucial. Mentorship can be someone from your organization, and coach ideally maybe outside of the organization, because you don't necessarily want to share all your professional challenges with your company.
no,
So this
absolutely.
one can be, and also the thing that was always interesting for me, and I never ask if anybody else has the same challenge, but for me, when I was younger, I never wanted a man as a coach, because I couldn't, like, there's a concept. It was the concept for me, like mansplaining. There will be someone who is, I don't want another man to tell me what to do. So I was always hiring women. And now I'm a little bit more mature in my head. So I do have two coaches who are men, because I admire what they do. But if, again, I think this concept of it's better to work with women is probably not out of my head just yet. Well, this is
Yes, so, so,
the
so just adding on that, I think that men can be good examples, good role models as well. So
yeah,
don't discard that. Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
men can be really good and can inspire you, and can also sometimes we have to lean in. Okay,
yeah,
we are women, we have specific advantages and skills, etc. But if we can integrate some of the things that men do, I think we could be a superpower, super women.
yeah. And
So don't
absolutely, and I
look at
agree
them.
with you. Yeah, because and this is why with this lean-in concept and women, let's do all for women, we do have to bring men on board, because if we don't, it's we are not going to do it ourselves. And as my husband always says, who is growing those men up, like when they are boys? They are women, so you have to put a lot of effort into into growing your own children as well, so they are becoming the men that we want them to be, and the women as well. Beautifully said, Kinga. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Conscious of time, I'm going to the next question on challenges and resilience, because I think this one is a really, really important one. As you said already, there will never be a really straight way. There will always be challenges and setbacks.
Always. So yeah, I had many challenges, and I said, okay, the challenges make me better, make me think broader, wider. So I had many challenges. For example, as I said, I was fired after 1 year at Credit Suisse when I joined by my boss. So it helped me to change my positioning. It helped me also to upskill myself. I have also challenges in my personal life, because for example I spent many years with my partner, so the father of my kids, and at some point in time he was not seeing the future as I was seeing it. And after 3 years of discussions, we were blocked. We couldn't move forward, and we decided to go apart. So we split it, and it was very difficult, because I didn't want to abandon my career. For him, he couldn't understand me having a career and being a mother at the same time. And for him, it was much more important to be with the family. And of course, I was judged. People were judging me. I was it wasn't very positive from some people, because I have chosen my career. I said, no, I can bring that together. It's not a problem. This is my value. And I want, since I was 10-year old, I wanted to have a career. Not now that I am 38, that people are going to tell me that it's not possible. So we decided to make a difficult decision. And of course, with this impact on career, on my family life, I stayed with my two kids, who were 4 and 9 at that time. So you have to juggle many priorities, but always just I wanted to achieve that, and I had to find a balance. So one thing I want to also to say, be a kind of selfish with yourself. Just not selfish in a very negative way, but think about yourself, what's really important to you, and try to manage that together. And I think that being selfish And it's not making concessions, but when the concessions and the efforts that we have to make, and very often we ask for women to make these efforts, don't do this. Just stop it. I think we have to be bold and overcome that, and we're always going to overcome it. So this is my take. Of course, we could talk about this for hours. I have so many things to say, but I hope I am replying to this question.
Yeah, you are. And thank you for that, because there are two questions here and you tackled them both at one go. I think the most common challenges women face, of course, would be, as you said, the family life and the career. And sometimes we would prioritize our family, and sometimes we would prioritize our career. And sometimes, like you did, you didn't choose between career and the family. You wanted to have a family and a career, as opposed to what your then partner wanted you to focus on your family only. And this was so misaligned with your values again,
Totally.
that you decided to take this difficult decision and the challenge, and then start a new life without him. So yeah, that's a beautiful example. Thank you for being vulnerable with us. I really, really appreciate that. And really, resilience, of course, is key, because without being resilient, you wouldn't have made this decision, because you, of course, knew it will be hard, it will be difficult, it will be putting everything in your life upside down, but you knew you would manage because you were so committed.
And again, it's this design, yeah. When you feel that you are going to control it and try to control it, at least even trying, it makes you feel stronger. So this is what I think it's resilience. It's if you are in control and you can't control everything, of course, let's not be naive. It's difficult, yeah. Well, sometimes we don't have the money, sometimes we don't find the jobs because the job market is difficult. Sometimes somebody dies, sometimes you're very sick. And it happens, you have a menopause, or you feel hormones also work, and you feel desperate, you feel bad. But trying to get always this sense of control and going forward, designing all the time.
Thank you, Kinga. Thank you so much. Yes, on looking ahead, and we are coming almost to the end of this beautiful session, very informative and very, very interesting. I would like to ask you a question on emerging trends, but also a question on your the key takeaway that you would like the audience, our beautiful audience, to take with them today. I will then ask our participants what their takeaways are. But I know you are very, very professionally also very interested in the foresight, looking ahead, the emerging trends on various fronts.
Yes.
What do you think are some emerging trends or opportunities that you see for women in the corporate world that align with values-driven approach for career development?
So definitely, I think that we are in a world where ESG is very important. So everything which is sustainability driven, socially driven. So more opportunities for women, definitely, because we want so equality. This is extremely important. Even if what's happening from a political standpoint around the world, we have to be careful. However, because I'm seeing also some trends which are contrary to what we want to. We are driving. We want to drive in for the future. So with the elections in the United States, with what's going on, it might be perhaps much more challenging. I had yesterday a conversation with a lady from Advancing the Career of Women. It's an association which pushes for advancement for women, and she said that now some companies are just removing their funding. They just unsubscribe. They don't want to continue the partnership because of some political relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly, connections. So while we have still this trend and we have many opportunities, we have to be careful. But at the same time, we have to be bold and we have to continue and to be strong and also develop that and get into this field of ESG. I think it's important. So ESG is also sustainability. So this is something which is for the future. I think we can't neglect this topic. Another topic is AI. And of course, using AI together with sustainability, it's very interesting. For example, agriculture today wants to use AI very much to much better control control the way the crops are going to be developed, etc. So lots of trends like that, linking sustainability with AI, even if we say that AI is not very good in terms of CO2 and emissions and also wasting a lot of water. However, it's going to change. So this is another trend. And trend in terms of workplace. This is also very interesting. I was working in real estate, so I know how it works. And I was managing also the pandemics for Credit Suisse for our department, managing the program, so coordinating it. And I know that now with the pandemics, things have changed, and there is another perspective on the ways of working, on the workplace experience, employee experience. So this is also something very interesting. And I think it can be also brought together.
Beautiful,
I'm
thank
going
you.
to stop here. I could say, talk about the
I
entire
know
day.
you could. I know you're a big fan of AI and an expert on it already. So yeah, that's but thank you so much for all those examples. They are very, very, I would say very modern, I wanted to say, but they are very current trends. And one key takeaway, if we only wanted to remember, or if we only could remember one thing from this interview with you, Kinga, what would you say?
One takeaway is really project yourself. I think it's project yourself and then rewind, get back, and look at what you would like to achieve and how to achieve that pragmatically, step by step. I want to learn German. I want to learn Arabic. I want to have experiences. I want to develop my network. I want to reach out to people. So yes, really project yourself. It's extremely powerful. Try at least. This is and definitely values, of course, and it's linked to values. So again, when you analyze your values, at the same time you can project yourself because it's going to be aligned to what you like, what you love. Because values, it's not only being fair, being kind. The values, it's what I like, what drives you in life, what is important in life.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kinga. Now, dear ladies, any questions to our accomplished guest? Or any
Accomplished, I don't
takeaways?
know. I have so much to accomplish yet.
Any questions or any takeaways from the audience? Everybody's shy.
Any question? This means
Yeah.
that I have been so comprehensive, so amazing.
I
I'm
think
just
you
kidding.
did it that way that now
No.
everybody is just speechless and thinking about it. But Kinga, thank you so much for your time, for your vulnerability, and for
It was a
your
pleasure.
and for your openness. I really appreciate the way you were very, very transparent with us and willing to dig deeper into your own life to share with us those examples. I appreciate that because oftentimes we think that others have it all beautifully aligned and they go just seamlessly through life and only the bad things happen only to us and everybody else is just whatever, brushes things off. It's not the case. And as you said, rightly and beautifully, it's being being resilient, working on your resilience, having this golden or this North Star, if you like, knowing where you're going, designing your life as you go along and designing before you even get there, and then having the strategy for yourself, having also a tactical plan how you get there. Setbacks will always be there, and they will be oftentimes testing your values and testing your North Star. But as long as you believe in it, you are ready to make choices that will always be aligned with your values and will make you closer to your goals. Inga, thank you so much.
I
I'm
hope
sure
that I
will.
brought
Yeah.
something. It was really an honor to be here and to share with you some of my experience. I hope it can help. Of course, it's not
Yeah.
something which is yeah, but I hope it really can help.
Yeah, because it shows the human being behind the title. I think it's important to say that oftentimes we are shy to, especially when we are more junior, we are shy to reach out to executives, managing directors, because we think there are some power women, power men, and more, less human beings than we are. Like if you, from what you shared today, you are just this beautiful human being behind your title and as vulnerable as everybody else. It is just how you manage your life that brought you where you are, but it doesn't mean you are a you have superpowers that nobody else has. What you have is your talents, abilities, and your North Star to guide you to where you're going. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Kinga. I'm sure I will be inviting you always now to our sessions to give some of your wisdom to us. And this recording will be shared with others who couldn't make this session today. So it will go to a wider audience. Thank you so much. And see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care,
ladies. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
And protect
Very
yourself, don't forget.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.